Hey everybody, woo! Welcome to Tom and James. It's Friday. James, look at do you like that behind me? Is that cool? That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know who took that
You're loving
picture?
that. You're loving that new screen, aren't you, bro?
I am. It's pretty fun. Yeah, I want to be like
Yeah.
James when I grow up. Hey, how
Yeah.
are you? How are you?
Hey, do you like this?
That's cool. That's
Or do you
the
like,
Olivia.
or do you like this?
I like that too.
Or
Yeah.
or do you like that?
I like them all.
Or that?
They're all cool. Hey, on the Back to the Constitution one, did you see that there's a warning now that's been put on the Constitution, like on social
Oh,
media?
it's so ridiculous.
Isn't that unbelievable?
You know what? The Biden administration, the Biden regime. I'm correcting myself.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Disgusting human beings.
Yep. Yep. Hey, so are you ready? Because we got some exciting things to go.
Let's go, bro.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Ready? Scientists want to replace injections by turning plants into edible mRNA. Whoops. Vaccines. I'm serious. Listen to this, right? Scientists at the University of California in Riverside, which is not far from where I am, will be studying how to turn plants into mRNA vaccine factories, the school announced. The National Science Foundation, which is partly funded by the federal government and created by Congress in 1950, awarded the school $500,000. The goal of the study is to find a way to grow edible plants that carry the same medication as the mRNA. You know it's going to happen. I think it's probably already been developed, and we're already probably eating that stuff.
It probably got developed. It probably got developed years ago, bro.
It probably
Give me a break.
did. Yeah, they're just talking about it now. I don't, this was out way before you were born, but there was a movie out, I know you're familiar with it, called Soylent Green. Did you ever hear about Soylent Green? Oh, okay. Soylent Green was these people. It's kind of like a world like we got right now. Everything's got really, really weird, and there's this global empire, and all this stuff is going on, and people are being disappeared. When they're disappearing, you go into this. Well, you find out it's a factory, and they turn people into food for the elite.
Like straight cannibalism for the Democrats?
So you read about these things, I don't know, it just makes my mind remember something like that. Soylent Green was out a long time ago. Okay. Health authorities claim performers, rich and famous, are exempt from mask rules. The Los Angeles County Department of Health responded to criticism of the maskless Emmys by claiming the rules didn't apply because it was a television production event, despite the fact that workers were still made to wear the masks. There was uproar on Sunday as celebrities packed themselves into the event deck at LA Live without the mask amongst them, and they kissed and they hugged all night long. And then under Los Angeles County Department health guidelines, everyone aged 2 years older and must wear a face covering in all indoor settings. However, venues, gatherings, etc., public and private. However, it was asserted that the rules don't apply to the rich and famous. They only apply to everybody else. So,
well, you know how I can tell LA County to shove it?
How's that?
You want to know how we can do that?
How? Let's hear
Our
it.
church service gets filmed every single time we have church service.
And you're in LA County. Are you in LA?
We're in LA County.
So you're in
Who
LA
needs a
County.
mask? We're in LA County.
So
who needs a mask?
Okay, yeah, so let's get back to that. So here it is. They have these rules, and they've said in there, I didn't read the whole thing, but these rules don't apply if you're in the entertainment industry. That's what they say.
You know what? We can call our Bible studies are entertaining.
Yeah, well, you're entertaining. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to admit.
There you go.
I think everybody would admit that.
There you go.
You're definitely entertaining, but we don't want to go the way that our churches are entertainment business. But I mean, you look at the hypocrisy of it, pretty unbelievable.
That's ridiculous, dude.
It is.
You go to a church, you got to put on a mask. But if you want to make pornography, no problem. You can take your masks off.
Yeah.
You go to church, you got to put on a mask. You go to a movie set, no problem. You can take it off. It's ridiculous.
Okay. So I was flying in recently, and I landed at LAX. And, they're doing a lot of construction at LAX. So we landed. It was a big plane we were on. We landed, and the plane was packed. There was no social distancing on the plane. Okay, so we landed at LAX. You can't go to the gate like normal because in this particular area, all this construction. So what they do is they pull up these massive buses that connect with each other, kind of like a subway. They have us all get off the airplane. Instead of going to a gate and through the tunnel, we had to get on a bus. Every one of us had to get on a bus. They crammed us into the bus. And I mean, you were like this, just like you see those pictures of people getting crammed on subways. That's how it was. In LA County, where they insist the mask and social distance. One guy yelled out, "So this is social distancing?" I mean, literally, you're crammed against everybody. And the hypocrisy is just hilarious when you're looking at this going, there's something wrong with this. Of course, there's big business involved. It's it's the LAX. And how many videos do we see of people off when they don't know they're live on the air, they aren't even wearing their masks? How many politicians we see all of a sudden, oh, camera's on. I mean, the hypocrisy of this stuff is off the charts. Why is it that nobody on the bus that I was on was required to social distance? Because, never mind. Okay, ready? U.S. to require incoming travelers to get the VOOP against the COVID.
Wait, let me get this straight. If I'm an illegal alien, forget the word illegal immigrant. If I'm an illegal alien, I'm a hardcore Muslim that has it in my mind to want to blow up U.S. citizens, and I come through the southern border. If I'm Haitian, Hispanic, Salvadorian, doesn't matter what race, and I want to visit the United States of America legally, I've got to get the right?
If you want to do it legally,
But if I'm an illegal alien, I'm one of the 100,000 Haitians that's coming through the southern border in Texas. I'm someone coming from Mexico, wherever, South America, doesn't matter. I'm one of the known terrorists that flies over to Mexico and enters into the southern border. I'm not required to get anything. No vax, no mask, no test, no anything. Are you out of your flippin' minds?
Yeah. And
this is insane.
Yeah. And you'll be transported to all these different places in the country. Have you seen that? I actually saw a document last week, and it had how many people were going to be transported and named various cities that they're going to be transported to. And you're looking at this going, these are people who have no kind of record of receiving the medical attention. Here, I got this article. Let me see if I can find it. And it fits in with all of this. I hope I didn't delete it. I don't think I did. I believe I have it right here. Here it is. CDC says Afghans arriving in the U.S. are infected with measles, malaria, and tuberculosis. But you're able to just be taken to anywhere in the country. So you look at this. So I'm thinking, hey, if I got to leave the country for some reason and I'm coming back, I'm going to get dropped off somewhere in Mexico so I can just walk across the border and say, no, I'm not an American citizen. So they'll say, oh, come on in. Just come on in.
The Biden regime is disgusting. These people are demonic. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. It's crazy. Look, if you're a firefighter, police officer, you work for a school, you work at a warehouse, you do anything that involves anything in the labor force, you are required to get this thing. And yet, if you work for the president of the United States, you're not obligated through the mandate. Matter of fact, they won't even disclose how many people actually had it in the White House. Why? Because it's their own private information that they're wanting to protect.
Yeah.
If you're in Congress, it doesn't apply to you. If you're in, I mean, come on.
Yeah. If you're
this stuff is
worker,
demonic.
You work for the post office.
This is totally demonic. And yet we got these woke preachers that are still setting up vaccinated sections in their church and unvaccinated sections, and they're setting up mandates. You got the Gospel Coalition, that's basically saying, hey, all these churches should be doing this. It's a good idea. My goodness, bro, what is wrong with these people?
Yeah, it's absolutely terrible. Did you hear about this? What's going on with the Navy SEALs? Hundreds of Navy SEALs are told they won't be deployed if they refuse to get the.
Are you trying to make me mad, bro? This Navy SEAL story really bothers me.
Okay, so what do you know about it?
I know the story. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and explain it for the luxury of everybody else. But man, you're trying to get me floating on a really, really like I don't know.
Well, good. So apparently there's
good.
A quarter. I like to see you. Like I said, you become very entertaining. So apparently, a quarter to a third of all Navy SEALs are planning to file a religious exemption. And basically, what they're being told is, if you do that, we're not going to accept it, and you'll no longer be a Navy SEAL. So this has some huge problems. One of them is, if that happens, and they basically remove them from the military, that puts our military in a huge problem. And so we have that immediately out of the gate. The other thing that this I think is really happening here is this is being used to replace police, to replace military, to replace people that will go along with the agenda. Eventually, in the not too distant future, after they're able to eliminate enough military and enough police, they're going to say, okay, this is the agenda you're now going to start enforcing. Because seriously, James, how many police would come around and arrest someone like us? How many military are going to say, hey, we're going to start working here against our own American citizens? No, it's a problem because they're not going to do it. So they have to replace those people with the people that are going to go along with their agenda. And that's what I believe is really happening here. They want to get rid of them. Hence, the reason why certain people in the White House, certain people in the UN, there's just these people, they don't have to follow the same rules. These people in Hollywood don't have to follow the same rules. And also this, why is it that the post office doesn't have to receive it? I think that the Biden regime knows if they require the post office to do that and they have too many people quit, they will have chaos on the streets of America that they never imagined happening. That's why they aren't going to allow they don't want the postal service to have to, they don't want to require from them. It's going to cause too much problem.
100%. 100%. I'm telling you, these people are dark people. These people truly, I mean, they're demonic people. I'm just telling you. Make no mistake about it. It is so absolutely demonic. People don't get this. And why doesn't anybody want to actually look at the inconsistencies of this? Even these morons in the mainstream media that continue to do the things that they're doing, where they're propagating the lie that they're told to propagate by their bosses, like, don't they see that this industrial complex that's beginning to build is going to come after them first? Mm-hmm. Like, this is insane. Yeah. Like, praise God for you guys. You guys are completely destroying the future. You are making money off the death of the future. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Yep.
It's just completely ridiculous.
Here's something else they're doing. Democrats view the Americans that did not receive the medical treatment as bigger threat than, ready for this, than Russia and China. Remember how they said we're worse than Afghan terrorists? Now a bigger threat than Russia and China.
Look at the lies that come out of these people's mouths. Haven't they just finished telling us that China's not a big threat and Russia's not a big threat and everything's okay and these people are good and we're friends with them? The Biden regime was bragging about the relationship that they now have with Russia. They had a wonderful meeting with Putin and everything went well. And then you've got one of the generals, General Miley. What a I mean, Milley, whoever, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who actually says that China is not their enemy, which they are. They are sworn enemies. But China's not our enemy. They're just an upcoming nation, and we have to support them, and so on and so forth. Come on. So which is it? Are we worse terrorists than them? Are we worse people than them? Or I thought they were really good people. Well, I mean, which one is it going to be?
Okay, so we're worse terrorists than them, but the postal workers and the Biden regime who don't have to receive that thing, apparently they're okay. I mean, how can somebody not see the hypocrisy in all of this?
Oh, bro, listen, the insanity of everything that we are talking about literally knows no bounds.
Yeah. The fact that we're talking about
it is something like I've never seen before. Yeah, it's crazy.
Listen, you had a question on your show on Tuesday, and the individual said something about, it was a good question, about the Agenda 2030, but the way things are looking, it appears that they're pushing their agenda, these globalists, to get it fulfilled by 2023.
That's right.
I absolutely believe, James, that what is going to happen between now and 2023 is going to be a lot more chaos. On New Year's Eve, every New Year's Eve, I do a prophecy update. I've been doing them the 17 years at my own church, and then previous to that, probably 5 or 6 years before that. So I've been doing them for years. In fact, I'd like to have you and Don out for the next one I have coming up. It's New Year's Eve, and it's fun. You still be back home in time after the 2-hour drive. You'll be okay. But on New Year's Eve 2020, I said, how many of you are excited that 2020 is now is behind you? You know, we are 5 hours away, 6 hours away, whatever it was, from hitting the clock. So all these people are excited. I said, not so fast. I said, if you think 2020 was bad, 2021 is going to make you wish for the good old days of 2020. And when I look at when that viewer asked on Tuesday about 2023, I'm projecting out to 2023. We're going to be looking back and thinking, oh man, I'm telling you, listen, folks, what's coming in 2022? Nobody wants to hear it. It is not looking good. It is looking very, very, very bad. I believe there's going to be a lot more chaos. There's going to be a lot more attempts to really control the masses of people. They're going to tighten up the noose that much more on all of us. And that's the way this thing is going. They are not going to turn back. James, you said it's like the ratchet, the other day. And they're not letting up on this. I don't think they are. Do you think they are?
No, they're not.
No way.
No, they're coming down. They're pushing the Overton window. They're tightening the ratchet. They're gaslighting beyond belief. They're doing everything that they can to basically get you to ignore all the nonsense that's going on in the name of your comfort, in the name of, whatever it is that you have at the momentary time. And the way that I liken it to is I say that all of us that are, I'm not going to say us because we're not doing it, but the people that are overlooking this stuff, the people that are blowing it off, congratulations, you're just like Esau. You're willing to sell your whole birthright and everything in front of you just for a pot of stew. And that's exactly what it is. And that stew probably wasn't all that good, but you get the idea. The thing is you're selling yourself short because you're saying, oh, well, I'm comfortable now. Oh, I got what I want now. Oh, everything feels real good right now. I'm not really seeing much of a problem. Well, you know what? There's a problem coming. There's a problem coming. And you're putting yourself in the same position as Hezekiah where you say, oh, well, you know what? As long as it doesn't happen to me, right? As long as it's not going to happen in my generation, then everything's going to be okay. It's completely ridiculous.
Yep. And then we throw in something like this, which, you've been saying this since forever, right? That this is what's going to happen, and it's all starting to work out. More white people than black people want police abolished in Minneapolis. Imagine that. Now, we've been saying this since the beginning, especially you. You've been on the forefront. You were lambasted for saying these types of things.
Oh, yeah, sure I was.
It's these white leftists that are driving this policy, and it is an anti-black policy. And so you have black people in Minneapolis that are saying, this is a problem, abolishing the police. But the white people in Minneapolis are still saying, no, we think it's a great idea. Because it's not affecting the white neighborhoods. That's why. If they've got their own police, what are they saying? They're saying abolish the police in the black neighborhoods. That's what they're saying.
I think they ought to make a rule for all of these people that want to abolish the police. They ought to make a rule that they can't hire any. They ought to make a rule that you know what, you can't have any protection for yourself.
Yeah, like Lori Lightfoot
everything that you impose upon these people, right? Oh yeah.
Yeah, All
Come on,
these
a
people.
70-person security detail? Come on.
These politicians that are behind this stuff, they get all kinds of security detail, private security detail. It's all funded. They've got the money. It's all coming in on taxpayers' money. And you look at this, and I guarantee you the white neighborhoods will not defund their neighborhoods from the police.
100%.
But the white people are saying, your neighborhoods over there, you guys need to be defunded. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, here's this. Another article. This coming out of the Washington Times. Black voters are stung by Democrats' broken promises, doing terrible on racial justice. What a surprise. It's more, aren't you shocked at that?
I'm so shocked that I'm about to faint. A little bit of sarcasm.
Yeah.
Look, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The enemy works this way. He's good at this. He is good at creating deception. He likes to get you distracted with here. He says, hey, look, when the real thing is really going on back here. And that's what he'll do. He'll get you to look forward at all of the stuff that's distracting while the real things are going on in the background. And that's what's happening with America right now. That's actually happening with so many people in the church. That's what's happening in our nation, is that literally we are ignoring the invisible realm and we're all becoming casualties of it. Those of us that fail to engage in that realm are becoming casualties. And the reality of it is you can't engage in that realm unless you're going to be open and honest and truthful. You have to. Without it, you don't have a chance. You can't make it.
Mm-hmm. Did you ever see, there's this video out, Malcolm X, I'm looking for it right now, on, it's an interview he did on the white liberal. And he says, he talks about why he doesn't trust the white conservative, but then he goes into the white liberal part. And it's I'm trying to pull it up. I got to be able to pull this up.
I want to see if I have. Is this something that's on YouTube?
It is on YouTube, and I think I just found it.
The white liberal differs from the white conservative only in one way. The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives. The American Negro is nothing but a political football, and the white liberals control this ball through tricks or tokenism, false promises of integration and civil rights. In this game of deceiving and using the American Negro, the white liberals have complete cooperation of the Negro civil rights leader, who sell our people out for a few crumbs of token recognition, token gains, token progress.
So with that, just there's this video, Malcolm X, and he's talking about the problem. He talks about his distrust of the white conservative, but then he goes into this whole thing about the white liberal. And what he explains is what we've watched. So when we see this coming out of Minneapolis, and then we have this other report coming out of the Washington Times that black voters are recognizing they've been stung by the Democrats' broken promises, you start to see, okay, this is what we've been warning all along, that these policies are bad for the black community. They just are. All the way around.
Yeah.
Abortion, look at abortion was started with the intent to eliminate the black community at large. It was extermination.
Yeah.
That's what it was for. So where do you put abortion mills? I know where I live, they planted one in that community.
They're all in the hood.
Yeah.
It's all that way, bro. That's all that way.
And
completely. Think about it. 3% of the childbearing population in this country, 3% of women that can bear children in this country are black women. Yet they account for almost 50% of the abortions.
Yeah, it's terrible.
1,500 black babies a day are dying. That's a real civil rights issue right there.
Absolutely wicked. You have the violence in the cities like Chicago and Los Angeles. Nobody addresses those things. They just say defund the police, Minneapolis, wherever it is. And then abortion. And you look at that and you go, this should cause person to say, what in the world is really going on with this? These policies
100%.
are not friendly to the black community. Okay, I want to move on to the last thing. We were talking a little bit the other day about Guterres from the UN and all these things. I did a little bit of that in my prophecy update on Wednesday also. I did some last week, did a little bit more this week. But in that UN document, what's called Agenda, I think it's called Agenda for the Common People. Isn't that what it's called?
Yeah. No, it's a Common Agenda Report is what it's called.
Common Agenda Report. Okay.
Huh?
So in this, he says we are at, this is just one of the things, we are at an inflection point in history. In our biggest shared test since World War II, humanity faces a stark and urgent choice, a breakdown or a breakthrough. The coronavirus is upending our world, threatening our health, destroying economies and livelihoods, and deepening poverty and inequalities. Conflicts continue to rage and worsen. And then here we are, got to throw this in there, the disastrous effects of a changing climate, famine, floods, fires, and extreme heat threaten our very existence. And then he goes on to say we need to do this for people, for the planet, for prosperity, and for peace. But this is what he actually says in this, that we need to act right now. And he says, so important is this, it's actually yesterday. We needed to act on this yesterday. So this is the kind of thing that they are saying out there. This comes from another document, and this says the climate agenda accelerates. The World Economic Forum is hosting its annual Sustainable Development Impact Summit on September 20th through the 23rd. So what's the date today? Isn't today the 21st? So
yes,
22nd, 23rd?
Today's the 21st. Yep.
20, whatever date it is. This is September.
Oh, the time of the recording. Oh, I messed up. I'm all
September 20th through the 23rd. I don't even know what date. I don't even know what date it is, but it's 20th through the 23rd. The 19th was Sunday. I remember because I was preaching on the 19th. The World Economic Forum commented, without urgent action, climate change hurts our ability to meet all 17 of the SDGs, the UN Sustainable Development Goals. If 2020 was defined by COVID, then 2021 is so far defined by climate change and the need for urgent action yesterday. That's the World Economic Forum. So that's what they're saying right now. So when we are saying, listen, folks, you better hold on to your seats, because this thing is going to be like going into steroids pretty soon. When they start enacting all of their climate change rules that they want to bring, they're going to come up with more viruses. You're going to see more and more empty shelves. You're going to start hearing of water shortages, and especially in the desert communities, there's going to be a need to limit the amount of water that you're going to be able to intake. It's going to affect where you're going to be able to drive, gasoline, all these types of things are going to be affected. And you're going to hear of electrical shortages and all these different challenges, which some of those things are real because their infrastructure is so pathetic and so outdated. Well, of course the stuff is going to crash. But what they're doing, James, I believe, is they're going to use these things. Some of these things are very real. The infrastructure is bad. The way they've developed energy, absolutely horrible. Where I live out near Palm Springs, there's these giant windmills all over the place that don't do
and they're ugly too.
They're ugly, they're worthless. And now the environmentalists say, hey, they're killing all the birds. We need to take them out. They don't do any good anyways. So you look at all this stuff, because of man's policies, they've made it worse. So these things really will happen. There is going to be electrical problems, but they're just going to take this and create it and say, hey, look at all the problems we're having. Now we need you to do this. And you know what most people are going to say? Here I am, send me, I will do whatever you want, oh globalists, because we want to save Mother Earth. And those bad citizens that say, wait a minute, it's the lousy policies in California that caused us to have the forest policies that have us all these forest fires every year. It's the policy, the lousy man policies.
No, you brought it up. You were talking about the water management in the state of California.
Oh, yeah.
That the only reason why we're having a water crisis and we're dealing with all of this stuff where they're saying drought is because the governor of the state of California has been dumping water into the ocean because of some gefilte fish or something like that. I don't even know.
Gefilte fish. That's funny. That's for all our Jewish friends. And this has been going on in California before Governor Newsom was here. It's been going on for a long time. And, Arnold didn't fix the problem, did he? Remember Schwarzenegger?
Come on. Arnold is a mess.
Remember him? You remember him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met him. I actually met him personally at a law enforcement memorial. Yeah. And he was like, hello, Pastor. And then he was just very, I don't know. It was weird.
Anyways, so this is where we are. This is reality about where we are. James,
we've been on Arnold's story?
Yeah.
And here, just a really quick, funny.
Let's close out with your Arnold story and anything else you want to share.
Well, this might not be a good closing out.
Well, I've done all the talking, so I want you to take over for the rest of the time. Go for it.
I think I'm the one that's interrupted you a few times.
Well, I've done most of the talking this time.
So we did a law enforcement memorial many, many years ago. And when it had happened, this was right when there was a lot of controversy over Arnold Schwarzenegger with the nanny. You remember that whole situation?
Yeah, how could I forget? Yeah.
So they wanted a very discreet green room for him to be in where he could still see everything that's going on, but just wanted that kind of discreet room. So, of course, we gave him the nursing mother's room. And one of the staff members lost their minds because we didn't even do it on purpose, but they actually thought that we were mocking him because of the nanny putting him in the nursing mother's room. And they insisted we covered it up or removed the plaque or whatever. It was actually really funny.
That is funny.
Yeah. So then the way it came out was when they asked where he was in front of all the news people, we said the nursing mother's room.
You did?
It was pretty funny.
Oh, my gosh.
It was pretty funny.
No kidding.
And staff people didn't think it was so funny, but it was pretty funny.
I bet, especially during that whole time frame with all the other stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
James,
it was pretty funny. All right, I did most of the talking today, so I got to turn it over to you.
I'll just simply say this. I will say that time is running short, right? Look, we say it again and again and again. Jesus is coming soon. And if you have not taken advantage of having a personal relationship with him, this is the time to do it. All the stuff we're talking about is evidence of the fact that everything is around the corner. And guys, we need to plan accordingly. I mean, Jesus is coming soon. I don't know how many times to say that. So my exhortation is be about your Father's business, right? Preach the gospel. And listen, when it comes to preaching the gospel, praying, all that, I assume you do that like your heart beats, okay? When we talk about doing all these other things, we're giving you advanced instruction. The basic instruction involves doing all these things. It's like your heart beating. It's an Acts 2:42 kind of a thing. You should expect that to be a normal part of your everyday life. So get involved. Jesus is coming soon. We're running out of time. And then I want to say one other thing, kind of on a side note. Congratulations, bro. I've been saying it a lot, but congratulations. I'd be willing to bet you're going to hit 110,000 probably within the next few days. Your subscribers on YouTube. That's really good. That means a lot of people are hearing the message. It means that God is being glorified through that ministry even more. And I'm proud of you. I think it's a great thing. So we should continue to subscribe to Hope for Our Times. If you can, also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Calvary Chapel Signal Hill. There's a lot happening, and we want to be able to continue to equip you with all that information, and it's good. By the way, that interview you did with Vindog was really good. I haven't finished watching it, but the beginning, it was great.
Yeah, well, I don't know how much of it you watched, but it was obvious that I was doing most of the talking because people kept commenting, when are you going to let Vindog talk?
Yeah, right.
So
yeah, right.
I kept saying, I don't know what's gotten into me, Vinny. I feel like James Cadiz tonight.
Wow, I didn't hear that part.
Oh, he thought it was hilarious, and so did all the people online. They thought it was pretty funny. They said, you James are the same. And I know, sometimes I do got the habit of just starting to talk, and then I take over, and they go. Somebody asked me. My son asked me, why'd you even bring Vinny into the studio if you're going to do all the talking?
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Vinny.
I'm glad I let Jay from Australia talk when he was on. Okay. Hey, I got to go. It's great seeing you this week. and
Okay.
and exciting days that we live in. Listen, everybody, buckle up. What's coming in the future? Listen, we ain't going back to 2019. This whole thing is going forward. These globalists are not going to let their foot off the brake. They're not going to just say, okay, let's just lay everything down. Let's just stop. Let's just go back to how it was. They aren't going to do that. They have an agenda. They're pressing for it. They're going to do everything they can to achieve it. But know this, Jesus is coming. So in that, trust Christ to forgive you of your sins. The Bible tells us there's no other name under heaven by which we can be forgiven than that of the Lord Jesus Christ. Trust him to forgive you of your sins. Surrender your life to him, and you mean it. If you mean it, he'll forgive you. Listen, until next time, shalom, y'all.
Adios.
Adios. Adios, amigos.
Adios.